You all set?
I'm set.
All right, Nick Agoris, it's been a while since you've graced the homepage of Running Maryland, but you're on a quest right now. Maybe you could tell all the viewers what you're trying to do.
Okay, Lewis, my goal is this. It's to do something I believe no man my age has ever done in a 24-hour period. And that is to run a full marathon, bench press 300 pounds or more, and throw a 16-pound shot put 12 meters or further.
Okay, so I know you're crazy.
Indeed.
But what brought you to do this? What were you thinking when?
Excellent question, Lewis. Excellent question. You know what it comes down to, especially at my age? It's like, how can you challenge yourself? You know, I've run a marathon before. I run, different marathons, and I'm a big guy, but whatever. That's okay. So that's sort of cool, I guess. I've always lifted, or pretty much have always lifted. So I've been able to keep my bench press fairly high, especially for somebody 52 and a half years old. And I've always thrown. So I thought, how can I tie all this in together into something sort of neat that'll motivate me to keep training harder as hard as I possibly can? And I thought to myself, okay, how many people run marathons at 52? That's not it's a big deal, but it's not a big deal in the scheme of things. How many men 52 or older can still bench press 300 pounds? Probably a fair amount, but I wouldn't say a ton, And then really the catch-all here is we all throw a 16-pound shot, 12 meters. 12 meters is 39, 40-foot range, probably in between that range. And a man my age in competition would truly throw a 6K shot, which is 13.2 pounds. So if there's, I don't know, I'm going to speculate maybe 20, 30 people, and maybe less, who could do that alone. And then I would say, Lewis, of that, probably half of those, so let's say 10 or 15, can still bench 300 pounds, because to throw that far, you almost have to be able to lift fairly heavy.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of those guys will be able to run a marathon?
Probably not too many.
Not too many, because they're probably going to be a big old fella. So now on the flip side, plenty of people run marathons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. At my age, I'm pre CrossFit generation, but I'm sure there's still guys out there who've always lifted weights, who always stayed in shape, who can certainly run a marathon, and maybe can bench 300 pounds if they're a bigger, stronger guy who've always lifted. But again, there may be 20 or 30 men in America total who could throw a 16-pound shot put 12 meters. So that's really, so I did this because it's an unusual thing, because I'm an unusual person.
Right, understood.
Thank you very much. And to do this in a 24-hour period, a couple of years ago I benched 335 for my little one Christy, because she never thought I could do that. Well, I did. I threw almost 1281 in a meet 2 or 3 years ago in the shot, almost 42 feet with a 16-pound shot.
Right.
I ran a marathon 5 months ago. But again, to do it all in less than 24 hours. And you say to me, the big question here, Lewis, would be?
How do you train for this?
No, that's a good question. We'll revisit that in a moment. The real question is, how can you pull this off? Well, my friends at Gill Athletics are located in Champaign, Illinois. So at the factory, at the office there, the corporate headquarters, they have a weight room. Also outside, because it's Gill Athletics, they have a shot put circle where, coincidentally, Christian Cantwell had the longest throw in the world 2 years ago, right there. So maybe I'll get some of his vibe. I'll get some of his vibe. So that's, and then the next morning is the Illinois State Marathon. I believe that's what it's called. So again, I'm saying 24 hours. I really hope to do this in 20 hours or less.
Okay, it's pretty impressive.
Well, thank you.
But so I guess how do you train for this? Especially the long distance. You did some 18-mile runs, which is
don't get me started.
Okay.
If you've lived in the Northeast or probably most of America, you realize how bad the weather was this winter. Harsh. And it seemed like every time I had a 12, 13, 14, 16-mile run, it would either snowed, downpour, ice. It was just a cornucopia of problems. But 2 plus 2 is 4. It's 4 yesterday, it's 4 today, it'll be 4 tomorrow. So as you mentioned, so I did my long runs. I was putting in, probably at the peak, 40, almost 50 miles a week. So the marathon bit is pretty straightforward. You put the mileage, you don't get hurt, you should be fine. The bench, I can always bench relatively easy, relatively a lot, fairly easy, till now. As we stand here a week out from this attempt, I'm like at 290, 295. Well, guess what? That's not quite 300 pounds.
Nope.
But close. I think I'll be able to get, or I'll be darn close.
Mm-hmm.
You say to me, Nick, Would you be disappointed if you benched 295? Yeah. Would it be totally disappointing? No. If I benched 240, yes, that would be very disappointing. But Lord willing, that will not happen. The real issue is the shot put throw. As you see, we're at a track meet today. You know, I coach a lot of kids. I coach little kids, not so little kids, and senior citizens and everything in between. So I have a decent concept of how one throws far. You would think that would parlay to me, but that is. So right now, I could look you in the camera right in the eye and tell you I'm at 37 foot in the shot, which is not quite close enough to 39, whatever, 12 meters. So the question again would be, Lewis, how do you plan on picking up that extra couple of feet?
2 + 2 = 4.
In divine intervention, both. So,
right.
So I'm going to throw the bar. I think I've got a couple things figured out. So that's the thing I'm most concerned or worrisome to me. But I'm going to give my best shot, because that's all you ever do is give your best shot.
That's right. All right, well, Mr. Agoris, best of luck to you. And I'm sure, well, we definitely will have a post-world record conversation. And I expect it to be a world record, not close to a world record.
Well, thank you, Lewis. I really